We still have the terrible mic, but in today's video we are going to be doing the off season after we just lost the Stanley Cup final. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's get right into this thing. Okay, so in this draft we have a first, second, 2 fourths, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Not to say that we won't get more picks. We have an A+ forward core. We have strengths everywhere. That is crazy. So we have 6 second line forwards, although these old guys don't really count. So we have 4 second line forwards, or first line forwards. We have 3 guys who I would consider long-term top 4 defensemen. And then we have a starting goalie. The scouts are saying that our biggest need is defense. So that's, I think, what we're going to target. Our captain, Connor McDavid, there is not much he has to improve at, but one thing he has to improve at that gets cut out: Connor McDavid never wins a face-off. And Fiala is a guy that I think would work out very well on our team. He had 30 goals last year. He's just a pure speed guy. He has 89 speed. He has elite puck skills. He has 4-star shooting, physical, 4.5-star skating. His defense is a bit questionable, but I swore he fit on the first line. Anyways, he has X factors apparently. I don't know, I feel like this isn't a lot to give up. We're basically giving up Dermott for the contract, and then second or 32nd and 65th. I know I might be like, oh, you're ruining your cap space. Fiala's only signed for 2 more years. He would play alongside of McDavid and all of them, but Gavin McKenna is the first overall pick. This kid is absolutely nasty. I'm gonna see if they accept something like this. If they don't accept this, I don't know how much higher I'm willing to go, right? Because I mean, I don't know if Kevin Fiala perfectly fits this team. We have to be proactive. I think we we want a guy who can play alongside of Connor McDavid. You know what, I think I'm gonna wait a second, maybe not do this on draft night, and maybe wait to see who we can sign in free agency and then go from there. I start clearing the club of its dead wood, and I think Travis Dermott is a guy, I mean, he didn't even play last year, like even as an injury reserve, and he just seems like a Toronto Maple Leafs kid. So we're gonna send him over to TO and see, if he does well over there. Juuso Parssinen was really good for us. He had 15 points in 33 games, right? And then in the playoffs, he had 5 points in 19 games. He had 0. Yeah, there was a +0 there. He actually played really well in his time. But I mean, a center with 68 face-offs. He's not like a fast guy. He's not like a very physical guy. He's just kind of mid at everything. I feel like we can find a lot of mid in the draft. So we're going to trade to the Edmonton Oilers. Juuso Parssinen, thank you for everything you have done for us, but we will take on Luke Schenn's contract and get a third. Erik Brandstrom was absolutely incredible for us. 34 points in the regular season, +9. He had 5 assists in the postseason. He was a +3. Kid's an absolute stud. He has great skating, right? Great offensive skills with pretty good defense for an offensive defenseman. So I'd love to hold on into him. He is a pending RFA though. I don't know how much he is going to want. And I just got a trade that I cannot pass up. A Consta Helenius, 1-for-1 straight up for Erik Brandstrom. The Buffalo Sabres want to do this. They offered this in the trade finder. Now you might be thinking you don't need a forward playmaker, right? You have McDavid, you have Owens, you have Desnoyers, all these like playmakers. Consta Helenius is a bit of a different playmaker. He's not like a smooth skater, right? He's more of like a I don't even know how to explain it, like a hot dog kind of player, just like kind of chill kind of player. I don't even know how to explain it. But Consta Helenius, the only reason I'm thinking of doing this is because top 6 high is outrageous potential. And Erik Brandstrom, we're probably not going to re-sign because he's going to want a lot of money. So you know what, Erik Brandstrom, thank you for everything you have meant to the Quebec team. Go play for a buyer in Buffalo, a Stanley Cup contender in Buffalo. And thank you very much for my boy, Consta Helenius. Okay, we're going to use that 3rd round pick to try and move up to pick 18 in the draft with the Vancouver Canucks. And we're going to see if we can get our guy who we want at 18. And that trade is rejected. Wow, that is a rough one right there. We're gonna throw in, what would you guys even want, bro? Like a 4th round pick. There's a lot to give up to move up, but you know what? I think it is worth it. Let's go through the entire draft rapid fire. Gavin McKenna goes number 1. This sniper dude goes number 2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins to play alongside of Sidney Crosby. He has 90 speed. That is insane. A power forward here, a well-balanced power forward. Norgren goes to the Sharks. Rippin, a defenseman, goes to the Blues. A defenseman goes to the Islanders, 2-way. Elite Burchild goes there. Bjork goes there. Verhoff, Rudolph, Stenberg. All these guys are real. Diorio. So there's a lot of good players in this draft. And then here come the other elites. Damn, there is not been a dud in this draft. So there's this guy right here. We need defense really badly, right? That was our biggest weakness, defensive prospects. And this guy's NHL ready. He can just replace Brandstrom. He already has an X factor. He is out of America, but he's out of US East. So he could be very close to Quebec. He has size and skill, shutdown ability, a heavy slap shot. He does have B- defense, but you know what? We will take that. Pick in the 2026 NHL entry draft. First of all, we'd like to congratulate Colorado on their cup. Still salty about that one, but you know what? We live and we move forward, and we are going to be adding from the U.S. National Development Program, Alan Aubrey, a 6'3", 2-way defenseman, top 4 potential, but he says he's NHL ready and he looks really good. Pause. I don't usually show these, but we're going to try and move up to 53 here and see what happens. And we do get to move up to 53. For 53, we could take this guy, Pasi Vikoivu. You know, he's an elite low. He's a +2 in Finland, or in Sweden, sorry. But this guy played in the Extra Liga. He's a 6'2" center/left wing who's a +11. His only weakness is his character, which is very unfortunate, but he has skating, he has a hard wrist shot, he has elite speed, and his personality is driven to win. So I think we can help him succeed here. So we're going to take Adam Navatoni, and he's a top 6 sniper. Alright, so we're going to just flip Luke Shen. We're also going to flip our next year 3rd round pick, which you guys might think is not a smart move, but I think it is, because when we sim to this 90th pick, right, unless he went way early, I don't think he did. There he is. Bergquist, a gem. Nicholas Bergquist out of Malmo. I don't care what your stats are. You have no weaknesses, and you're a gem, and you're only 3 years to develop. Absolute stud right here. Full day, we can move up to 112 and trade the guy who cost us a Stanley Cup, Jason Zucker. Why are you driving at 2 in the morning, buddy? I just heard that outside, but yeah, Jason Zucker, he's off the team, and we get the 112th overall pick. Now you might be like, well, why would you get the 112th overall pick for Jason Zucker, an 84 overall player? Well, one, he cost us a Stanley Cup, but you know, more importantly, there's a guy we want to draft here, defenseman, Vlachav Honzik, right? He has 5 years, unfortunately, but you know what? He has a well-rounded personality, and he's a gem, and he is an elite medium defenseman. That is perfect with tape-to-tape. Draft is nasty. Another elite low player. What is that? 4 or 5 elite players, a couple of gems, like a top 4 guy who's ready to play in the NHL right now. Okay, that was a terrible pick, but that doesn't take away from the fact of how good this draft was. All the contracts we re-signed, but the main guys right here are Podkolzin, Kaliev, and Shakir. All are coming back, and then everyone who is, where does it say, all expiring? All these guys are going to be walking. Classic shout out. He played great on that bottom pair, +28. You know what? He could very well come back, but maybe for a bit less money in free agency. William Karlsson wants $6 million. I think we're going to find a new first line forward. But you know what? William Karlsson's an absolute stud, so he can come back if he wants. And then Krause and Burakovsky, shout out for what you did. but I'm sure you guys can get more money on the open market at July 1st, and we can do a couple things like extensions. We don't need to extend guys like Soderblom yet or Mr. Clean, but our rookie, I mean, you can't even call him a rookie anymore. He's been to the Stanley Cup Finals. Charles Owens, he had 59 points last year. He's only getting better. He does want to stay here in Quebec City, which is amazing. What does he want? Oh my god, he's him. This is an absolute beauty, but what if we rewarded him with a massive 8-year contract with a no movement clause? I wonder what we could get him at for money. On the 7 years, $8 million for Charles Owens. It's going to take him up right until he's 27 in his prime. The 8th year, we have to add on like a full $1 million. I really like this contract. The cap's going up. It's not too much. And this guy's going to be an absolute stud. And he accepts right away. This is an absolute beauty. Maybe our future captain. Is an absolute legend. 2.5 mil for 5 years for an absolute stud. And Shane Pinto as well accepts our offer right away. These are the contracts that you need when you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. And Shane Pinto is definitely a guy that we will probably have on our team when we win a cup. Soderblom's a really good trading asset, and I mean, if he hits unrestricted free agency, he is getting a lot more than 1.9 mil, so we are going to offer him 1.9 mil. And Soderblom is an absolute beauty. He is accepting free agency, what we can offer each player. Oh man, this is about to be an absolute beauty. There is a lot of elite forwards here. On defense, there's a couple elite defensemen. And then is there any elite goalies? There is a franchise goalie. Okay. We could really upgrade if we're going for a Stanley Cup push is the right side of this defense. And Alex Pietrangelo is an absolute stud. I am willing to pay him a full bag, like a full no movement clause for 1 year at like $6 million. If Alex Pietrangelo would do something like that, I'm willing to go up to 6.25. That's probably the most I'll go up to. And actually, we do need to spend the money. So you know what? I'll go to 6.5. I won't cheese it too hard. But 6.5 mil for Alex Pietrangelo. And he accepted right away. Alex Pietrangelo, I mean, he's a veteran defenseman. He immediately becomes our biggest name on defense. He's a Stanley Cup champion twice, right, as one of the main leaders. And now this blue line is looking good. He's going to slot right in with Rasmus Sandin there. It says he, played I forgot to show, but it says he plays the second pair. This team, like, I forget how many moves we made, but we haven't made a lot. But this is probably the biggest move we've made in the offseason so far, other than signing Pietrangelo, and that is trading Trevor Moore. Shout out everything you've done, Trevor Moore. You were a great trade deadline pickup, but you do not want to re-sign here, so you're getting shipped out. And do the classic team trade where you just flip assets, you know what I'm saying? You get a second and third for Trevor Moore. You use these 2 seconds to get a guy who's been our target for a while. He makes a lot of money, but I mean, it's only 2 years left. We don't have to re-sign him after this. But I just feel like him, McDavid, and Mercer, the vibes are just there. So we're going to go and try and get Kevin Fiala here and give up pretty much whatever it takes. Never mind, the Kings are bugging. They want way too much. So we're just going to wait until Kevin Fiala becomes available in trade talks. And yeah, I mean, that's all we really got to do. Of another season, and we have to name an assistant captain since William Karlsson left the team. And I think it's pretty obvious who it's going to. The man who's been here since day one. I know it's weird to have 2 assistant captains on the blue line, but we're running with it. Thomas Harley, congratulations. Kevin Fiala is now available for trade, and we need to try and pull trig here. So Tamula was the guy we gave up originally, and then we're going to throw in our 2nd round pick to start out. I don't know if Kevin Fiala's regressed, and is that why they put him up there? But you know what? I think it is going to be worth it to pull off a trade for him. We're going to throw in the original package, Tamula in 2 seconds, and they did reject our original offer, which is very true. So we're going to throw in this 5th round pick from the Maple Leafs. And that one's being rejected. And then we're going to throw in the 3rd from the Winnipeg Jets and call it a day. Are you joking me? Here are the lines. We picked up Maxim Siplikov, and he is going to be playing on the first line. That is crazy. We have him, McDavid, and Mercer, Kaliev, Owens, and Neighbors, Iginla, Pinto, Podkolzin, and Kraus, Faxa, Iafallo. You guys can see, I think we're going to pencil in TJ Iginla probably on that second line. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he could be that sniper next to Owens and Neighbors, but we really, really desperately need a first line winger. On defense, we have Harley and Carlo, we have Pietrangelo and Sandin, we have Shakir and Darren Radish. We could sub in Hunt to get, unlimited chemistry, but I don't know if I want to do that. It's the power play. I actually really like how the power play is setting up. Here's the second power play. Not great, but you know what? We will take it. And then in net, we obviously have Soderblom and Gustafsson. So as you saw, we had a -3, and I don't really want to trade a guy like Mr. Clean, Darren Radish. But at the same time, he's listed as a top 4 defenseman. We're playing him in the bottom pair, and he's a low-key 30 years old. We can get a 3rd round pick, and low-key Adam Gaudette would be a nasty super sub off the bench. Did I just call it a super sub? Anyways, this would be a nasty trade, so we might pull trig. Radish, thank you very much for the +28 season and the playoff run to the Stanley Cup final. You have the experience, you are Mr. Clean, but at the same time, we want to keep this club moving forward, so we're going to accept that trade. I'm going to play a lot of games this year because we just want to get to the playoffs. If we're not making the playoffs, then we'll dive deeper into the season. But it's all about keep making the playoffs and find a couple teammates that Connor McDavid can thrive with. So let's get into game number 1. Off McDavid. McDavid gonna wind it back. Connor McDavid gonna feed Harley. Thomas Harley, who has developed into a #1 defenseman, low-key. McDavid, backhander. Oh my god, what a start to the season. Our rematch with the Colorado Avalanche. Let's see how this one goes. I really hope we can beat them. They destroyed us in the Cup Finals last year, but let's see how this one goes, fellas. Pietrangelo gonna steal up for Neighbors. Jake Neighbors gonna have to walk right in. Jake Neighbors gonna hold. Neighbors gonna walk in. Wrap around. Jake Neighbors. Oh my god, there's no way that just went in, bro. Shakir just went down with an injury, and I just realized we have no depth defenseman, so this is not a flashy move at all. We're gonna swap Jeff Petrie for one of our fake French players. He is 6'8", which is kind of crazy, but yeah, you can go for the NHL help because we need to help Connor McDavid as soon as we can, and this helps us. Oh man, who names their kid Charles? But you know what, that works somehow for us. Sandy, I'm gonna walk it back. Pietrangelo shooting. Oh, there we go, baby. Alex Pietrangelo with a blast against the Canadiens. Darnell somehow stole that one. They're gonna dump it right back in. Thomas Harley around the net. What a feed. Here's Dawson Mercer. Dawson Mercer has a step. Dawson Mercer. Oh my god, that was low-key a nasty goal. 13-10 here. We are in a divisional spot, which is nice. Connor McDavid has 31 points in 23 games. Siplikov, low-key, that first line's kind of nasty. Second line is kind of cooked. Thomas Harley's doing well. TJ Iginla is a rook, 12 points. That is kind of nice. So we have some very good things and some very bad things here. Here's how Gustafsson's doing. That is not good. This is not good. Dawson Mercer is out for 3 months. That sucks so bad. Oh my god. I think Podkolzin's gonna have to move up to the 3rd line, or to the 1st line. We're gonna have to put in Adam Gaudette. Oh my goodness. We are so cooked. We're desperate for a 1st line forward, obviously. And I have a crazy idea. What if I just trade Honzik, Hellenius, Aubrey, a 1st and a 2nd for Tim Stützle? Although it doesn't really make sense because Tim Stützle is a playmaker, and then we're going to have 3 playmakers on the 1st line. We just said we're not going for playmakers, but Kevin Fiala is on the block. Oh man, he doesn't even fit on any lines. There's no point of even trade. We are screwed. This is the best team in the NHL right now, so we need to see if we can slay these demons and win this game. Alex Pietrangelo walks right in. Oh my goodness, that was an absolute nip. At January, the boys are still in the same spot we were at the start of the year, which is kind of crazy. But Connor McDavid, 57 points in 38 games. Siplikov is going crazy. Looks like Maxim Siplikov and Connor McDavid are a match made in heaven. So we might have to keep that line together. Thomas Harley has 31 points. Maybe Dawson Mercer is expendable. I think we have to offer this at the Ottawa Senators. We are sliding in the standings. We really need a player bad. And Tim Stützle is going to be an absolute stud. Hot skin, like, we want to keep him. Same with Hellenius. Same with Aubrey. But I just feel like, I mean, getting Tim Stützle, you have to pay a premium price. So hopefully this is enough. If we can trade for a 91 overall player, you know how insane that is going to be? I mean, like, our defense on that first line is going to suck. But now he's a third line fit? I don't know what's going on. But he's the only superstar that makes sense to make a trade for. And we are kind of desperate right now. And, oh, man, I do not want to give up that first this year. But we can see if this one goes through. And, yeah, that's the most I'm giving up. We are so desperate. We are coming back to the player we've been waiting to trade for so long. Kevin Fiala. I mean, he does fit on the first line. This not buddy guy, if he's not playing in the top 6, I don't know if at third line sniper, we already have guys like Kaliev. So I think we're going to take a crack at Kevin Fiala. I'd be willing to give up both of my second round picks for this year and that Winnipeg Jets or Chicago Blackhawks third round pick. And it looks like it's not going through. I don't really want to give up Consta Hellenius here. We will give up 2 prospects, though. They used to want Tamula. And then if we go here to the draft picks and give up 2 seconds, it should be a done deal. Watch this. Bam, bam. Kevin Fiala, welcome to the fuck's sake. You guys see now how hard it is to build a team around Connor McDavid. Like, he's the best player in the world, and we are doing an awful job of building a team around him, but we will eventually get there one day. We built an amazing team last year. We went all the way to the Cup Finals, and I don't know what happened. Dawson Mercer gets injured for 3 months, and our season goes down the drain just like that. But, I mean, that happens in real life to a bunch of teams, and, I mean, it's going to happen in the game, too. Neighbors takes it back. Neighbors for Kaliev. Arthur Kaliev walks right in. Oh my goodness. How is that one not going? Kaliev in, shooting. That one's off. Neighbors. There we go, baby. Crease Crasher and Jake Neighbors pots one. So unfortunately, because of that Dawson Mercer injury, we are now down to 6th. We are in a wildcard spot, and I know you guys might be thinking, just be aggressive. Go for the playoffs. You have Connor McDavid. Boys, this is a long-term project, and low-key, if we can somehow flip these guys into, like, superstar prospects and just have, like, a super young turnover, because we have a lot of young players who are going to make the jump next year into, like, the top 6, the NHL team. So, like, low-key, we could have this cheap, young team around McDavid. That would be absolutely sick. We could play a couple of games, but I think the move is just get to the trade deadline and see what is going to happen with our team, see how our team does in February. Oh my god, it is here. Dawson Mercer is back, baby. Let's go. And the boys are buzzing right now. 34, 24, and 4. These guys want to contend for a cup, so I will let them do that. Oh my god, we are back in a playoff spot. It is a beautiful sight to see. We are the #1 goals for team. Looks like our defense is what needs the work here. Power play is scuffed because we lost one of our top power play players. And then the PK is very mid. 89 points. That is what we like to see. Maxim Siplikov has 60 points as an 83 overall. That is the McDavid effect right there. Jake Neighbors 54. Owens has 50. Podkolzin has 44. That is the McDavid effect right there. Kaliev, I follow. That 4th line is going crazy. Dawson Mercer was a point per game, so I think we could be fine. Harley has 50 points from the blue line. I think We just, gotta be patient this year. The boys are buzzing. We gotta give them the chance to compete. There's a couple moves I am looking at for the future. We're gonna be conservative buyers and enter the trade deadline. Let's see who is available. Thomas Chabot, Mikey, but yo, there is so many elite prospects available. What? Do the Buffalo Sabres want to get rid of Mikey Burchild? What? He fits on our first line. So, you guys might be thinking, go get the Aginla. But honestly, I don't know if I want to do that low key. But like next year, right, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stud top 9 players. We have 6. Malcolm Spence, I don't think he's going to make it to the top 9 yet. We have 7 right there. Yeah, we have a lot of these guys. By potential, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 centers who are going to play in our top 6. A couple of these guys are going to have to shift over to the wings, but we have a playmaker. McDavid's everything. A sniper, a playmaker, and I think Desnoyers is a playmaker as well. We have Shane Pinto, who is a two-way forward who's going to be on the team next year. We have Jake Neighbors, who's a power forward. Malcolm Spence, who's a power forward. And we have Consta Helenius, who's a playmaker, as well as Podkolzin. Dawson Mercer's a sniper. This trade is super unrealistic, but at the same time, we are dealing with the Buffalo Sabres, the franchise that makes terrible deals, and Vasily Podkolzin has been an amazing player for us throughout this time. He fits perfectly on the first line just naturally. At the same time, 78. Mikey Burchild, I know there's other guys who are like better suited for our team, bro. This guy has the superstar potential that we are looking for alongside McDavid. And I think this trade could help both teams because they want to make the playoffs to get 2 second-round picks in a loaded draft class. That is rejected. That makes sense. Okay, this may seem like a lot to give up, but Consta Helenius is an absolute stud. And we got him for Eric Brandstrom, bro. We got him for Eric Brandstrom. I know he's a playmaker, but we low-key fleeced them. So now we're actually not fleecing them. It's Brandstrom, Podkolzin, Helenius, and a second for basically the 6th overall pick, which is definitely a fair trade in my opinion. And we are going to try and get Mikey Burchild. Will this trade go through? And trade accepted. We have traded for a superstar prospect. With doing that is because there's a center in the system who is unsigned. Caleb Desnoyers, welcome to the team, and you are going to be called up to the NHL. I can't call up Caleb Desnoyers. That is absolutely rough. That sucks so bad. I thought you could call him up after the trade deadline. That is rough. I swear you can in real life. Maybe you just can't because he's in the CHL and it's not like he's a college player, but that just ruined my entire plan. Some of our bottom players won't switch to fit the coach's scheme, so I was just like, you know what? Will the captain do it? Of course the captain will. Connor McDavid is the best player in the NHL. He is doing anything to win, and now that line has a full fit player. That is crazy. A nice play by Carlo. Here's McDavid back on the rush. Connor McDavid gonna jump deep to the outside, gonna stop up. What a move. Connor McDavid walks in. Oh my goodness, that was nasty. Owen's trying to reverse hit Malio, and Malio gonna get bodied right there. Here's Lehkonen, sit down, buddy. Heineman shoots. Are you fucking joking me? That is bullshit right there. Owen's back of the net. Charles Owen's trying to feed again when he saw that, but he couldn't convert it. Here's Neighbors. Jake Neighbors gonna walk right in. Oh my goodness, what a nasty goal by Jake Neighbors. Holy, you go on the side there, 91 points. We have clinched the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, so we can just go ahead and simulate these final couple games, see what seeding we get, and all that stuff, and we will be in the playoffs in the next episode. The league here, 97 points. I think that is worse than last year. But you know what? We will take 97 points in a playoff spot. We are 5th in goals for. That is perfect. We actually did really well in goals against to finish the year, it looks like. Our power play isn't where we want it to be, and same with our special teams again. Didn't play that great, but he is a playoff riser. We know this. So, hopefully he can rise in the playoffs. And Soderblom was incredible for us. Thomas Harley turning into a #1 defenseman before our eyes. 72 points. Sandin and Pietrangelo, that was a great deep pair. Brandon Carlo does not get talked about enough. Blue line here. We're going to have to find a replacement for Pietrangelo in the future. But that is a plan for the future, you know what I'm saying? Connor McDavid, 61 goals, 119 points. He is back, baby, plus 43. That is absolutely gross work from the kid. Maxim Siplikov, 74 points, a plus 29. This dude's about to be a stud. He's about to be like 86, 87 overall, making 3 mil. Charles Owens, 68 points. We love to see that. Yes, sir. Factor another career high for Charles Owens. He is cooking. Jake Neighbors, 67 points, not 35 goals, but we will take 25. Dawson Mercer was a point per game. That is nice to see. He should get an overall boost from an 85. There's no way he remains an 85. Arthur Kaliev with 40 points. I follow 34. Shane Pinto, Mr. 41 games, 31 points. TJ Ginla only had 26 points on the year, but you know what? It is his rookie year. There is going to be rookie pains. I am not denying that. Igor Shesterkin's going to win the Vezina, or Thatcher Demko. 8 shutouts is outrageous with a 922. For rookie skaters, Jonathan Lekermacki, 74 points. That is absolutely nasty. 86 overall. This dude's about to be an absolute stud. So that's sick. On defense, Cale Makar had 96 points. Thomas Harley, though, in the top 6 for defensive scoring. We love to see that, yes, sir. And did Connor McDavid lead the league in scoring? Yes, he did, 119 points. We might have a Hart Trophy winner here in Quebec City. Stats where the top players can get like 200 points, but at the same time, the scoring is not outrageous, not 200, but you know what I mean, like 130, whatever. Just let me know, but you know what? We will live with this for now, but that is it for this video, guys. We will be seeing who we are playing in the playoffs in the next video, and I'll see you guys in that next video.